Well, welcome. Welcome to another episode of the TV Teddy podcast. I'm Ted Valentine, 43-year veteran of NCAA men's basketball. We are now in the conference tournament, and next week we are in the NCAA tournament. My good friend, and you would know him, and he's not on the Steve Harvey show, is my nephew, Dwayne Jackson. Dwayne, how you doing?
How you doing, TV? Thank you for having me on today. And man, what a busy time in college basketball right now. And hello to all of our listeners too as well.
Hey, things are starting to heat up. We have the conference tournaments that are going right now. I've watched a few games, and the tournament is definitely going to be a good one. It's definitely going to be good.
Right.
There's something that Dwayne want to say. There was a correction from the other day that we were talking about it, and we told you we will only bring you the facts and we'll bring you the truth.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
So Dwayne, I'm going to send it over to you.
Well, TV, we talked about really quick. We talked about how Nolan Smith and Rod Strickland and those guys had done a really good job of getting their team inside of the NCAA tournament for this season already, and they punched their ticket. We also mentioned that Reggie Theers and the Bethune-Cookman basketball team had also punched their ticket. Now, what we did was we were talking a little too fast, and I want to apologize for that mistake. He did not get into the NCAA tournament yet, but they did become the regular season champions in their conference. So kudos to Coach Theers and that basketball team. He's done a great job of turning that program around. So we want to make sure we make that correction.
Right. I mean,
also, TV, I want to also say this too. You know, when we talk about the SWAC conference, that's one big league.
Yes, sir.
And it's been some good teams. You know, I got people like Charlie Ward is down at Florida A&M, FAMU. And I remember when he got the job, he came over to Clarksville and did a speaking for an organization. And I was able to talk to Charlie for a little bit. And he told me that he was taking the job. And Jared Lazarus, that used to be at Florida State, he's there with Charlie at FAMU now. You may know Jared Lazarus, that was at Florida State for some time. But I want to say about the SWAC, to be the regular season champion like the Bethune-Cookman has done this year, that's hard to do. Good competitive basketball. And hats off to Coach Diaz for being a regular season champion.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, he's just a wonderful person, individual. And we just hope the best for any person, especially in this day and age with the way America is.
Right.
You know, and we're going to, call things out and we're going to correct things as we go, because we do make mistakes as people too. And I've made mistakes as an official, and sometimes you have to go back and you have to correct it.
That's right.
And if you do that, you're showing a little bit of, you're showing some humility about it. So
Correct.
It's a good thing. So is there anything that you want to discuss tonight, Dwayne?
Yeah, it's a couple of things. TV, I tell you, you know, when you talk about the conference tournament, now it's starting to heat up, right? We started with the dog days. Let's kind of revisit a little bit. We started with the dog days of February. And now we into the madness of March. Okay. Boy, that goes hand in hand, don't it?
Right.
You know, January is when everything is pretty mild. It's not so hot, not so heavy. But February is like a light come on.
Right.
You know, teams got injuries. You know, man, the season getting longer. You know, you done played everybody probably one time already. And, you know, the sense of urgency is there. But there's a couple of things I want to mention to you. You know, you've been in the ACC so many years, and we were able to see the ACC tournament. You know, I've been able to watch some games. I'm sure you watched some games this week in the ACC. One of the teams that stick out to me is Syracuse.
Right.
And I was able to see that game, and I know the coach at Syracuse, and I know coaches on the staff at Syracuse, me having to work with one of them in some previous places. So I do have a heart for Coach Audrey and that staff over there at Syracuse. Obviously, Syracuse mean a lot to you. And just for our viewers today, TV, if you don't mind, just share with our viewers what that place over in Syracuse, New York, means to you as an official.
I'd say Syracuse. I started going there in 1989 when I first got into Big East,
Mm-hmm.
and it was probably one of the largest venues I've ever officiated in front of 30,000 fans. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the huge venues around. One thing I noticed about those fans there, they love Syracuse Orangemen. They really do. And
Mm-hmm.
they really rally behind their team. They're the
Mm-hmm.
only team that when they get the jump ball, they stand and they clap. All 30,000 stands and claps until
On
they
the
score
jump
a
ball.
bucket. Yes, right. They stand and clap, and they'll keep clapping until they score.
Really? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir. And they will keep clapping until they score. And I thought that was kind of, showed, I don't know, some enthusiasm among the people.
Mm-hmm.
The people come
Mm-hmm.
out of the town. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing about being at Syracuse, it's a very close knit community, basically. I mean, they love
Right.
they love the Orangemen. Um, Coach Autry, who I had when he was a player, and he played with the
Okay.
late Lawrence Moulton, and they were
Right.
backcourt mates.
Lawrence Moore was a
And
good player.
right, great
Good
player,
player.
and they were class men. I mean, they were
Mm-hmm.
competitive. Now
Mm-hmm.
they would knock people down in the old Big
Mm-hmm.
East. They would knock people
Mm-hmm.
down. They were fierce. And
Mm-hmm.
Coach Autry was always, he never gave you a hard time about anything. He would come
Right.
over and say, can you take a better look at this? Can you take a better look at that?
Right.
And they
Right.
knew who the officials were in that league. And
Mm-hmm.
over the years, I watched him grow. Okay.
Okay.
I seen him do camps. Now, um, he eventually turned to a coach, and my heart always went out to him because he was one of the good guys on the
Yeah.
sideline. I mean, when he said something to you, you listened.
Right.
You really did, because he was never a complainer. He never
Mm-hmm.
complained. He never hooped and hollered.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to get his team, going.
Right.
He tried to stay out of officiating until he had to get involved with it. But he was never
Mm-hmm.
vicious. Never. He'd always ask questions.
Very
He
good
was a
attitude.
gentleman. Great
Right.
attitude. He was a great
Right.
attitude. When he was assistant coach under Coach Boeheim, I used to spend more time talking to Coach Autry,
Really.
and we would talk about when you go in Syracuse and you see up in the rafters from Sherman Douglas, Billy Owens,
Oh man,
Ronnie
there's some names.
Cycli, Billy
Derek
Owens.
Coleman.
You would see
Derek
there'd
Coleman.
be I didn't have Per Washington. I didn't have him, but
Right.
you just see that banner go all the way around, and you would just
Yes, sir.
reminisce, and you would look, they built a program, and
Yes, sir.
they really did. I mean, they were Syracuse Orange basketball. I had a chance to go see some of the players
Okay.
about 3 years ago, and they were honoring them. And
Mm.
some of the players were yelling at me, and they couldn't believe I'm still refereeing the games,
Yeah.
and they got these pudgy bellies on them, and they they got
Right.
gray hair and whatever it
Gray
is,
hair. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It was either Billy Owens or somebody said to me, "Man, don't you ever age?"
Right.
And I said, "Well, evidently I made a lot of calls on you guys because you must have aged, and it was
Right.
just to see them. And Coach Autry is a very, very special person, because I got a chance to officiate his
Mhm.
son,
Okay.
played at GW. I got a chance to meet
Right.
his wife in the airport, and my heart goes out to him
Right.
for those you that doesn't know.
Mhm.
They're good people.
Right.
They are good people. And some
Correct.
of the comments that the ex-coach Hall of Famer Jimmy Howe made is probably a fair assessment about
Right.
what has transpired. And I
That's
just
right.
want to wish him the best. Um, he had an assistant coach with him,
Okay.
Griffith. was his assistant
Griffin,
coach.
yeah.
And
Class guy.
class dude. Well, I
Class
remember when
guy.
he'd be on the end of the bench. Okay.
Yes,
He'd
sir.
be on the end of the bench and I'd joke around with him. Okay.
Okay.
Always. All right. So there was one game, Syracuse was winning bad.
Mm.
And me and Griff was messing on the sideline. And so we get ready to leave. And I'm getting ready to leave away from their bench. And I turned to Boeheim. I said, "Hey, Coach Boeheim, put Griffin in the game." Okay. I said, he looked at me and said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Put Griffin in the game." Okay.
Put him in the game.
Okay. So next time I go back to Syracuse, the kid Griffin says to me, he says, "Ted, please don't call me out like that because Boeheim made me run in practice."
Oh, man.
Okay. Coach Boeheim made him run. Okay. And so that was always our running joke about get him in the game. Okay. And it's just that he's a great person too. And I hate to see them have to uproot or where they're going to do or where they're going to go. And I just want to let them know that, my heart's out for them. It just is because they're very special to me. They are.
That's right. TV, really quick, what would you say? How many times have you officiated in Syracuse at the Carrier Dome? How many would you say?
Oh man.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, TV, but how many would you say?
Oh man. I'd say at least 40 times.
40
Okay?
times.
At least 40 times. I mean, I'm talking about in
That's
the old
that's a,
Big
that's
East
a
when they
lot.
had UConn would play there and John
Right.
Thompson at Georgetown would play there. And
Oh yeah.
those are memorable, especially when you're playing when they're playing UConn and playing Georgetown, because they're basically going to get after one another. Villanova was there with
Villanova, yeah.
Massimino. And just
Right.
if you had them and St. John's was playing Syracuse, there'd be nothing like it, man. I mean, they really went after it. They really, truly played hardcore basketball. And it wasn't dirty basketball. They didn't play dirty.
Right. It was good. It was
Now,
good, clean competition.
good clean. Now, using the Big East now, you wasn't going to the goal and making these easy layups that we see now being made. I mean, they would foul you. They'd foul you. And it's just that those days are gone and we're in another era of basketball. But, Syracuse is something special to me because I remember, and I'm not trying to throw any shade on Syracuse. None at all.
Right.
I was there their next game when Coach Boeheim went through something of his own.
Yes, sir. Yes,
his
sir.
ordeal about the people that he had to make a turn and he didn't see the person up near the car.
Right.
My heart hurt.
Correct.
I don't know to this day how he even coached the game because I was there the next game.
TV, did you expect Coach Boeheim to coach that game? Honestly,
I would think to myself, I probably wouldn't have.
Okay.
And it's not for me to judge him. And maybe he felt that him being on the floor or being out among the people
will help him deal with it.
Yes, it would help him deal with the situation. And they'd already planned something like for the family and, things like that. And I remember standing there, and I went down to him and as he was coming out, the crowd stood up and cheered.
Okay.
The crowd stood up and cheered. Now, most people would think, well, that's kind of morbid, what it is. No, no, it's not kind of morbid, and I went down and I sort of like put my arm around him, kind of like hugged him, but he wasn't a huggy-feely type person,
Yeah, he's
I
never been.
basically made him feel and hug me. And I said, "May the Lord be with you." That's all I said.
Okay.
And I walked away. And they were doing a moment of silence, and my eyes started swelling up, where I was crying.
Right.
And Mike Krzyzewski could tell that I wasn't the same Taddy. As that game kind of like unfolded it, I was trying to referee real quiet, no animation, wasn't making any noise, just calling it just all the basics. And it's just that you could just feel it through your heart and you could just feel it through your soul. I mean,
Right.
um,
Well, TV,
but you can
TV,
feel
let me share this with you. I know for a fact that Coach Boeheim was really happy to see Audrey get the job.
Yes.
He was really happy about that because of the fact that not just because he was a player, but what he meant to Syracuse. And
Right.
the Syracuse faithful really love Audrey. And
Right.
you talked about Griffin. They really love Griffin too. But so many players came through there that Syracuse love. I mean, we could just go on and on. Jason Hart, Josh
Right.
Pace. We could just go on and on. Jerry
Right.
McNamara, Carmelo Anthony. We could just keep
Right.
going. But I just want to say this, TV. Back in January, I had a chance to go over and spend a little time with Audrey and Griffin in Atlanta. They was coming down to play Georgia Tech. There's a strength coach that works at Syracuse right now. His name is Robert Harris, and he and I worked together at Austin Peay last season.
Okay.
And Robert and I are really good friends, and I had a chance to speak to Audrey and speak to Griff a little bit, and they was excited about their chances. They was excited about their team. They was excited about playing Georgia Tech. Obviously, that night they beat Georgia Tech.
Right.
So I just saw a happy guy in Audrey that day. He was so happy. He was glad to be coaching Syracuse Orangemen. Griffin was happy. It was just, I just knew they were going to make a really good run this year. And when that run didn't happen, as I watched the TV screen, man, it was very, very, very hard to watch.
Right.
Because here's a man, and I'm going to say it like this. Here's a man that's sitting in the seat. He's sitting in the seat. And as you know, a lot of them can't sit in that seat a long time if the winds ain't there.
Right.
But some of them can sit in the seat a long time, even when the winds are not there.
Right.
So I was very disturbed about that loss because I felt like they had a chance. I felt like they had the best team. I felt like they had really good players. And like you said, I agree with you, TV, what Coach Boeheim said about how he's a good coach and he just didn't get the best out of the players this year. Just really is spot on. So
Right. Right.
much respect to Audrey and his family.
Right.
Much respect to Griffin and Coach Harris. Those are some really good dudes over there, man. And I really think the world of them. And I'll be sending them. I'll be sending them here shortly over the spring and the summer. We'll cross paths and hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up and go to dinner or something like that.
Right. Right.
So TV, the other thing is too, as we talk about this and as we get on down in our madness of March and get down to the meat and potatoes of this conference tournament. Today is Thursday. We got Friday, we got Saturday, and we got Sunday. Now, the other episode, you told us that you've been in 7 Big East finals, am I right?
Yeah, 7 of them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've been 4 SEC finals?
2.
2 SEC and 4 Big Ten finals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the Big Ten finals, walk me through a little bit and walk all of us through a little bit. In these finals, that Big Ten game is played on Sunday.
Right.
How do you know, when do you know what you're going to be doing for the NCAA tournament? When do you get that information? Do you get it after the last game? Or do you get it prior to? Because I don't think our viewers understand how you guys get the information that you need to be ready for the NCAA tournament. I do know what we see is we see a selection show after the last game, and we all tune to the TV because everybody getting their, I can tell you, everybody getting their brackets out, ready to print out and ready to fill out the brackets. That's what we get ready for. The selection show in my mind is a big deal.
Right.
So, as an official, can you walk us through how you all are having a selection show of your own?
Okay. Well, basically, that morning or that afternoon, or let's say that afternoon, we receive an email saying that you've been selected for the NCAA tournament, and they don't tell you where you're going yet, so you don't have a clue yet, but you've been selected. So but that's the selection part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Any other information is forthcoming. You usually get, where you're going usually That's Sunday night.
Okay. Okay.
If you're officiating in the play-in games, which they have in Dayton now, you will know. You'll be the first ones to know that you're at Dayton. You'll be the first ones to know to prepare to go to Dayton. If you're later in the week at Thursday or Friday, you might get that. You might get that information for Friday. You may get it on Monday. Okay, because they keep everything quiet, and I don't know why they do this. You're not supposed to tell people where you're doing or where you're going, but there's people out there that know. Okay, there's some people that can tell you who's at the site with you.
Really?
Yeah, because you got inside trader stuff. You got inside stuff. I mean, so don't think it's a secret. Okay,
Right.
Somebody knows.
For years, TV, we all was like, man, did y'all see the selection show? And then we be like, oh man, Teddy Valentine's going to be doing that game. We all are shocked.
Right.
Like when you did Louisville and Creighton last year, everybody was shocked.
Right.
We were like, man, and the staff, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't want to cut you off, but the staff, we went to Wild Wings Buffalo. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right.
And we watched Louisville and Creighton only because you were reffing. So Coach Gibson said, hey, man, we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're going to see this on the big screen.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is it's a big deal for us and all of our listeners. We don't know the nostalgia behind it.
Right.
We don't know the working parts of it.
Right.
So, but when we see it on that very first game, that Thursday at 12 o'clock, the first game, and we see our favorite referee, we see our favorite teams, and we got our brackets out.
Right.
And we ready for that. We ready for that thing to be that Cinderella team to come up. Man, that's a big time. That's a big time in our lives.
Right.
That's a big time. That's a big time. People take off work for the NCAA tournament.
Right. Absolutely.
So I didn't want to cut you off. I didn't want to cut you off.
No. Once we find out our assignment, I've always learned the later it is at night, the further west you're going. Okay. I know I've been honored a couple times to go to Spokane, Washington, and I see Spokane. I don't want to go to Spokane. There is no brothers in Spokane. You can't get no haircut in Spokane.
You can't get a haircut. You have to go down to Tacoma. You got to go to Tacoma.
Okay, so
yeah.
So the later it gets, the further west you're going to go sometime. Okay, they'll be calling you at 11 o'clock at night. Okay,
you're going west.
You're going west. I'm going to Spokane. Okay.
Yeah.
Other things that people don't realize is we don't know what assignments that we happen to receive until we get to the site.
Okay.
And they have a meeting either the night before the game or the day of the game, early in the morning. They'll give you your crew assignments and tell you what time that you work. And they try to keep that under wraps. It's not released to the teams till an hour before. The same way with the media.
Right.
So they try to keep it very, very quiet. And it's just that, I've gone to sites and I haven't spoken to anybody, but there's always one person that can always tell me who's there. Always tell me.
Really?
Because you get text messages. Can I get your tickets? Can I get your tickets? You're like, who the hell is this? Okay. So,
these two guys.
Yeah. Can I get your tickets? Can I get your tickets?
Yeah.
I'm going, I don't even know who the world's out there, but somebody always knows. So it's no secret. It's not a secret, folks. So I'm just going to tell you, they can get information. Okay. They get it somehow. And it's leaked out through it's leaked out through the supervisors because some of them, they like to talk too much. They like to talk, and you're wondering, like, how the hell people know that I'm here? But people talk to people.
And that's how it comes out. Yeah.
That's how it gets out. And when you get there, they decide that what game that you're going to work, what time. Now, they've changed it some. They have a standby the first day.
Okay.
And he sits through all the games. So there's 4 games. Yeah.
So at every regional bracket, every quadrant,
right,
they get a standby.
First round, whether if you go to Dayton, that guy's sitting at the table for 2 games because there's 2 games in Dayton.
Because there's a play-in game.
Right. The next night, they may have another guy, or they may have the same guy. So he's sitting 4 games. When you start on Thursday, they get one person, he sits 4 games. He sits all 4.
So Timmy, let me ask you this. If you stand by, do you get a chance to eventually ref in the tournament? Or you?
No.
Okay.
Once you get standby, you're not refereeing anymore. You're not. Because they bring in the outside, they bring in one guy, one site now. He's to sit there all 4 games. He's there all 4 games. Okay. So if we have a Thursday game, he's there sitting to all the games. And then as the round goes on, they'll choose a standby to sit. If you're a standby, you don't referee. Used to be, I could be the standby one of the games, and then I can be refereeing that night. But they've taken that
night.
They've cleaned that out of the way, and that allows more people to be part of the tournament. And usually those people that being in the tournament for the first time, they're bringing them there just to watch.
Okay.
That's why.
So I see what you're saying now. So his duty won't deviate to on court performance.
Right. Right.
So he would just be on standby.
Right. That's right.
And he could get on the court depending on if something happened.
Somebody got to get hurt.
Right. That's right.
Somebody got to get hurt.
Okay. So TV man, you really gave us some good information there and showing us and guiding us on how that process worked, because what we see is a big old tournament that starts on Tuesday, go all the way to Sunday.
Right.
And then at the end of that tournament, whether our favorite team win or not, or our favorite coach wins or not, we see this selection show. All right. And then this big old selection show, then all of a sudden now everywhere you look, you got a bracket play. You got to win your prize for your bracket, your bracket buster. And then all of a sudden, then the next Thursday, then we see our teams playing.
Right.
We don't know the workings behind it.
Right. Right.
So, but I really appreciate us talking about that, and I really appreciate you giving us the information. The other thing, TV, while I got you, and I know you gotta run. I caught you really good today, but the other thing I want to ask you is these guys that's doing these games, these standbys, these officials, do most of them work together all year as a crew, or is it pretty much mixed up when we get to the tournament?
It's pretty much mixed up. Very, very rarely, like I've been in NCAA tournament, that I may get with 2 guys that I officiated all through the year. Okay. I mean, sometimes that happens, depending on the matchups. Okay. It depends if they want to use a solid crew. See, the NCAA, and I have to say this, they will use officials. Hey, I need you to get us through this game. Okay. We're not talking about the next game. I need your skills to get through this game.
And listen, and TV, that's good.
Right.
That's good, because they're trying to use the best for the best.
Right. They're trying to use the best of the best. Whether it's one game, it's 8-9 matchup, I got to put the best of the best.
Absolutely.
Okay. A lot of people don't know to officiate the Final Four is predetermined. You cannot referee your way into the Final Four. A lot of people don't know that. And
say that again on TV?
It's predetermined. Okay. A lot of guys think that they have a selection of so many guys that they want to see to the Final Four. Where there's only 9 guys working, they may have a pool of 15, 16 guys. Within the 15 or 16 guys, these are the guys that we're considering for the Final Four.
So, TV, I always thought it was based on performance throughout the year.
No. You got a lot of politics involved now. It's not like when I came in, we had a coordinator. It was based on skill. It was based on skill. Now we've gotten to the politicize. Now we're politicizing what's going on. You got people calling this person, this coordinator doing this coordinator doing that. They're all lobbying for their people. And if let's say that Joe Smo got a league and he don't get nobody in the Final Four next year, or when they go to their meeting, the NCAA meeting, they'll start complaining they didn't get nobody. So you just got to see all the stuff you have to see all the inner workings. I mean, you cannot referee your way to the Final Four. Now, if you're on that list, you can referee your way out the door. Okay. Okay. You're on that list. You can referee your way out.
You can referee out.
You mess up
You messed that game up.
or 8, you're gone.
Yes, sir.
You referee
yes,
your way
sir.
out.
That's hot game. That's some hot games, TV.
Because I learned from the past. People told me, you're on the list. You're on the list. Hey, all I can know is I got to go referee.
Got to go perform.
I got to go referee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch these early games, you'll see guys have more whistles than you ever seen in your life.
Really?
Yes, sir. I got to try to outdo that guy. I got to outdo him. You'll see,
man.
You'll see whistles, okay? Like, what? They call the game a lot tighter. And they know darn good and well they ain't called that tight during the damn year.
Okay. TV, let me tell you, man, you're so much a bowl of knowledge when it comes down to this officiating thing. And man, for our viewers, and I know a lot of people are wondering, I get these questions too a lot. Okay. When did you get to the Final Four? And what did you have to go through? When you say you can't ref your way to the Final Four, how did it happen for you? Like, were you doing just regionals and Sweet 16s, then Final Four, or you just did, how did it happen for you? How did you get to that Final Four that very first year? Do you recall that?
My first NCAA tournament game was 1989, and I went to Boise, Idaho. And I worked one game, and I was a standby. Worked one game, Boise, Idaho. Cliff Ellis was the coach at Clemson. I worked his game with Eldon Campbell. I worked one game. I worked one because I was a newbie. I was out there with Jim Burr, Higgins, Eddie Hightower, Short and C. I was with a great group official. These guys could referee.
Tell me those names again, Teddy. Tell me those names again, TV.
Eddie Hightower, Jim Burr, Tim Higgins. These dudes already been to the Final Four, Jack. Okay?
All legends.
All of them been there. I'm just a young kid, man. I'm a young kid. Legends. I'm the young kid, so I got to be standby my first year. I went, oh man, I get to be standby because you get to be standby. They choose you out of the officials, and you get to do standby. Okay, so I don't know if I was up or come or not. The next year I worked 3 games.
Okay.
So, oh man, I'm gonna make this. Well, didn't make it. Okay, I was disappointed. The next year after that, I went all the way. My 3rd year NCAA tournament, I went all the way. Well, I went all the way. Okay,
all the way. 3rd year.
I went to Indianapolis, where Duke and UNLV. It was my 3rd year in the NCAA tournament. My 3rd year, I went all the way. Okay, and
UNLV and Duke.
UNLV Duke. I was 31 years old. I went all the way. And I probably could have gone all the way the 2nd year, but I probably got a little bit intimidated because I worked Arkansas and Carolina, and Dean Smith was coach of Carolina, and Nolan Richardson, 40 Minutes of Hell, was playing.
That's right.
And I was in the game with 2 veterans, and they were battling. They were battling for calls. So I was just, hey, man, I'm just good to be here. Just referee the basics, referee the basics.
Right.
And we got messed up so bad. I ended up on Carolina's bench because I think Scott Williams was playing for Carolina at the time. And Dean Smith was upset. And I had a great respect for Dean Smith. I turned around and walked away. I walked across the court. I didn't want to hear what Dean Smith had said. Well, next thing I know is a tap on the shoulder. It's Dean Smith. He followed me across the court. I turned, called technical foul on him. He says to me, thank you very much, Mr. Valentine. And turned around and went on back because he wanted the technical foul. Okay. I knew right there and there we were gone because the first half we was terrible. We was bad. I sat in the locker room. And there's a guy that was refereeing the game with these called Richie Ballesteros. He put a towel around his neck and a clothespin, and he started chanting in a room. He started chanting. Okay. Well, I thought the floor was racing. I ain't never heard anybody chant. Okay. I'm a Baptist, okay? Okay? We got the fans. We fall to our knees in church, okay? So he was chanting. It kind of like scared me to death, okay?
Yeah.
So I went on home. I was upset. Start working hard. My grandmother I showed up at her house, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying. I'm sitting there crying because I want to go file for it so bad, because I know a lot of people you don't get to see this dream.
You don't get to see it. Yeah.
And my grandmama said, "Why are you crying?" And about that time, the phone rang. My uncle answered the phone, was on the other end of the line, and says, you can hear him go, "Where's Ted?" My grandmama said, he's here having breakfast, because my uncle and them, they were in Dallas, Texas. They come to watch me referee. I was gone. I got on a plane. I went home next morning. I'm gone. Bye. Okay. All right. Bye. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed. Okay.
Right.
I was disappointed. Went all the way back home, sat in my grandmama's kitchen, and I was crying when my uncle called. They were looking for me, and I was eating, and I'm sitting there crying, and my grandma said, "Boy, what are you crying about?" I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
What are you crying about, boy? Grandma wanted to go to Final Four. And grandma looked at me like, "You crying about that?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Man, you'll go next year." Okay?
Really?
Yeah, my grandmama. She was a church-fearing woman. Okay? My
That's
father,
right.
my grandfather.
Right.
She touched me on my shoulder, and she was about 70-something years old. And next thing I know, I start working. And the next year, I went.
Final Four.
I went to the Final Four because my
How
grandmama.
about that, TV?
Because I started working right then and there, and that's how I know God has had his hand on my life.
That's
and
right.
when I went to another one, another one. It was just like a regular fiction for me.
TV, after she blessed you with that, how many did you go to after that?
Man, I worked 5 in a row. I worked 5 in a row. And the first time I didn't go, which the Syracuse was there, I cried. I thought I owned it. I cried. I did. But I always had the best games. I had the Elite 8 games. I had the best games. Nichols would put me in the best games. I cried. Yes, sir. Because I felt that was defeat. Because I wanted it so bad. After you work the first 5, you want to. And a lot of viewers don't know. You think the officials made a lot of money? I got $525 to work them days. $525.
But you just want to be in the Final Four.
I wanted to be in the Final Four. I want somebody to know, hey, I'm here. I didn't get here by luck.
Man.
Okay. I worked 5 in a row. And then I cried. I'll never forget. I cried. I cried like a baby, man.
TV, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
TV, I can tell you this, man. Some people are just born to be good people. Some people are born to be just who they are.
Right.
And there are some people that's just born to be legends.
Right.
And, when you talk about Muhammad Ali.
Right.
The Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. There's one more name in there, TV.
Oh, yeah.
There's one more in there.
Oh, yeah.
And as we go through these episodes, I think our viewers are going to know who that fourth name is.
Right.
You belong with the group, T.
Well, I looked at it like this.
You belong with that group.
I've been blessed, and I just know who I am, what I am. And I always rose to the tournament. All it took was that one time that guy started chanting. That took one time. I said, I didn't know evil spirits stopped me from going. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, because he scared me. I got all scared and I forgot who
Right,
it was.
right.
And then I went, okay, now I'm starting to understand this because I wanted to go. It was in my heart so bad. And that's what I worked hard for, because I feel every official that put on a striped shirt, gets NCAA tournament, has dreams of going to the Final Four. Okay.
Right.
Back when I went, they was earned.
That's right.
They was earned. Now it's politicized. It's political. It's who you know, what you know this person, you know that person, this person in NCAA office. It's not based on talent all the time. It's not based on talent. It's not. You know what I mean? And I never played the politics with it. And the last one I worked was 2017. And I was grateful. And I knew right then and there, I wasn't coming back. I knew right then and there, I wasn't coming back. I knew this was it for me. And it's just that you work is based on ability. You know, I
Right.
always was taught things are based on ability. I didn't play any politics game with it. Hey man, either I'm good
Right.
enough or I got to go home and I got to work hard. Okay.
Right.
I got to
Right.
work hard. I mean, you get guys now, they're just so happy to get there.
Right.
I
The
went there
moment.
for $525.
TB, the plane ticket was almost that, wasn't it?
Hey, all I know is they treated us right. They gave us a Final Four watch. You could go 4 days. They gave you 2 free tickets. Now they want to charge you for tickets. Okay. Now you got to pay for a watch. Okay. Now you got to get out of town, and we got to sequester you, get you out of town. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't go walk around town. Okay.
Yeah, you can't walk around town.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so TV, let me ask you this. And TV, listen, I apologize again.
That's okay.
It's okay. Our viewers always want us to shed light on college basketball from the official side, and they always want to get in the brain of an official and obviously get in the brain of a coach. So they love listening to us, but we don't want to take your time up. But I do want to say this to you, and we'll talk about this in some
Right.
Future episodes. But let's talk about the coaches now. And for me, I've always grew up watching coaches. And when you say UNLV, North Carolina was your first one, that was a coach over there at UNLV that I did everything he did. I would go in my mama's closet and get a towel.
Right.
And bite on it.
Right.
And I felt like I was a coach.
Right.
When they came on TV, when Larry Johnson, Stacey Ogman, Greg Anthony, when the show came on TV, I call it the show.
Right.
I sit there with a towel in my mouth.
Right.
Because I thought I was coaching. I thought I was coaching the UNLV running Rebels. That's what I thought as a child.
Right.
All right. So now when we talk about coaches that have been to the top, that's still in our game, let's go down the list with them. Tom Izzo. Rick Pitino.
Yes.
Kevin Sampson.
Yes.
And if I'm missing anyone, just help me.
Those are the old timers that I remember. Those are the old timers that I came through with, and there's not that many legends that are still around.
Right.
It'll be something that they're trying to strive for, but in this day and age, you can't get there all the time. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because everything is equal with NIL, and we're trying to get better players, and players are shifting, and it's not. It's not. The old school guys knew how to get it done. I mean, you look right now, and I can say this: Coach Izzo, this time of year, he's the coach. You'll see March. When he gets to March,
that's right.
He knows how to turn it on.
Yes, sir.
He knows how to turn it on. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You got to give him credit. Mike Krzyzewski, when he got to March, boom, you got to turn it on.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
Look at all them teams that have gone there. Look at Calvin Sampson. Boom. They just know how to switch gears.
That's
they
right.
know how
Pitino.
to get their teams motivated. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Tom Izzo, during the month of March, he's been voted probably one of the top coaches. There's something about the month of March, when you see them bags under his eyes, he's not getting no sleep, and he's figuring out a way
to win that game.
He's going to try to get there because he doesn't take, or Calvin Sampson doesn't take if we fall short.
That's right.
They don't take it very easy, man. I know
that's non-negotiable.
I know these guys, and not to compare myself, that's the way I took it. The same way.
Right.
You just have it. Like if you fall short, hey man, I got to do something to come back.
I got to do something to come back.
I got to do something. I mean, just they know how to dig inside. Rick Pitino knows how to dig inside. They know how to get the most out of their team. Then you get John Schreier of Duke. He knows how to get the best out of his team because he learned from a predecessor, Coach K.
That's right.
So he knows he has a different touch.
That's right.
But he knows how to reach deep inside. It just anybody that's been competitive knows how to reach inside themselves and know how to get on the inside of their team.
That's right.
Let them see there's somewhere you can go over this rainbow. Right now we got a hill to climb, but when we get on top of the hill, we can see the destinations at the bottom.
That's right. TV, let me share this with you. And when you talk about Shire and we talked about Nolan Smith earlier in our previous episode and today, and would you imagine those two meeting up in the tournament?
I'd say
I think it'll happen.
I think the NCAA is like this, man. And you can take it for whatever it's worth.
I think it'll happen.
They like to match up people that know each other.
And you mean as far as, but it's for the fans though.
Yeah, but they like to put these two teams together. Hey, familiarity. Put these two teams together. Okay. If they don't do that, I'll be shocked. Okay, but in the past they've lined these brackets up that they're going to meet somewhere.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. That would be the game to watch.
Yeah, right.
That would be the game to watch.
Like a few years ago, it was Duke and Central Florida, Johnny Dawkins.
Okay, right.
Okay, that was in
Did
Columbia.
You have that game?
No.
Did you have that game?
I watched it on TV. I knew it was going to be a hell of a game.
Right.
I knew it was. Okay, just certain matchups you can see. Oh, they're gonna put Johnny Dawkins. He played at Duke. Okay, Tommy Hamaker, if he has a team at Harvard, they're gonna try to put them in there. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. They try to set them up. And, when I worked 92 Final Four, they set Bobby Knight and Mike Krzyzewski up somewhere,
right?
And they met in the Final Four. So you just see how they're gonna. You just know how they're gonna put them together.
Right. TV, before we leave, I don't want to forget this. We leave, I don't want to forget this because I know what the Hurley family means to you.
Right.
Obviously, you had Bobby as a player over at Duke, and obviously you've seen him grow in the Hurley family. Want to say that he did a good job. I felt like at Arizona State, and I felt like he did what he was taught to do, and his knowledge of the game. And the way that he approached it, I think he did everything he possibly could for that program.
Right.
And I believe that he left the program better than he found it. And I want to say this. I have a lot of respect for Bobby Hurley as a player and a coach. And I didn't want to let today go by without us giving some regard and some and some recognition to what he's done over his time at Arizona State. So, Bobby, listen, man, I don't care what nobody say about you. I don't care what nobody think about you. You're still Bobby Hurley to me, and you're still a champion in my eyes. And I know, TV, you got a lot of history with Bobby, and I know that you feel the same way.
Well, if you got to know you have to know the Hurleys, and I had them both when they played. One at Seton Hall, Danny was left-handed, Bobby at Duke in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
They learned from a dad that was a coach, and they were tenacious. Okay, so when you see them act up, they have learned that behavior. Okay, and they're more like an old school coach. They're basically old school. They're old school coaches. Okay, when you get them away from the game, they're the nicest men that you ever want to be with. Because I've refereed games and both of them been on the bench together. Okay, and I had conversation with them back and forth, and how they felt towards me was totally different. Now, how they felt about another ref, I don't know, but I know personally that they treated me well. They treated me with respect. They treated me with dignity. I've had to yell at them and pat them and nurture them and go on about my way. Because sometimes they get a bad rap. They really do. And they just basically, if people would ever look past what they do, just look past it, know them as a person, because you may never get the chance of knowing, but they're great people. They are great people. This is Ted Valentine, Dwayne Jackson. I realize that we've been here for a while. We'll come to you again. You can find us definitely on Instagram. You can see us on definitely TikTok. And you can definitely get us on Facebook. Tune in to another TV Teddy podcast. And we have to sign off because we've been here like 50 minutes. And we can go on all night long. We thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.